Against trophy hunting ahead of the conclusion of a government consultation which could see an end to so-called trophies being allowed back into the UK.
Some conservationists argue money made from poaching goes towards protecting endangered animals but needs to be done ethically. Speaking to Radio 5 last year, the comedian explained why he believes it should be banned.
This ridiculous thing that trophy hunting is conservation, it's nonsense, it's propaganda and lies, right? So the theory is, to stop poaching, we let some American dentist shoot an endangered species for 50 grand, and there's a trickle down and it gets to the poachers. It doesn't. It's corruption. It goes in the pockets of corrupt, and poaching still happens. So it's worse, right? Don't believe that. It's nonsense. It's taking money for someone living out their psychopathic urges. Also, it's ridiculous.
So let's speak now to Neil Fitt, who's an advisor to the Kalahari Conservation Society in Botswana, and Eduardo Goncalves, who's from the campaign to ban trophy hunting. Gentlemen, thank you both very much. Neil, if I could start with you. The gauntlet's been laid down by Ricky Gervais, amongst other people, and questioning the link, if there is one, between trophy hunting and conservationism. Can you just explain how that works, what the case is?
Right, good morning. Thank you very much indeed for asking. Here in Botswana, obviously I can't speak for other countries, but here in Botswana, trophy hunting is one of the tools in a toolbox for managing natural resources. So it's not the be-all and end-all, it's not everything, it's just one of the tools there. What happens here is the licenses are issued by the government, and the money from that goes, if it's non-CITES controlled, it'll go into the central coffers, and it can or cannot go back into the communities for the license aspect. If it's the elephants, which we're, I think, talking about here, the money actually goes into a conservation trust fund. That money must be used in elephant management areas and is allocated to a certain percentage directly to communities in those areas. Obviously, I'm talking at the minute just about the license fee, not the extra money that does come from employment in the areas, and so on and so forth.
Eduardo, do you want to pick up on that? You're from the campaign to ban trophy hunting. Now, a lot of people feel very uncomfortable about trophy hunting in itself. You heard that from Ricky Gervais. A lot of people sympathise with that. But when you hear Neil describe, the licenses, where that money goes, what do you make of that?
So first of all, trophy hunting is just about killing animals for entertainment, for pleasure. This isn't about killing for conservation. It isn't about killing an animal for meat if you're hungry, or because it's a threat to humans or for livestock. It's a colonial era sport, and it's something that people right around the world and in Britain think should be done away with, and there's cross-party consensus on this. Now, one thing we have to remember about elephants is that right now there are more elephants being killed every year by trophy hunters and by poachers than are being born. There are only 40 big tuskers left in the world. And this argument about trophy hunting supporting conservation simply isn't true. If we take the example that a lot of people remember of Cecil the lion, so something like $15,000 was generated as a trophy fee from the killing of Cecil the lion. Now, the Oxford University scientists who radio collared and monitored Cecil calculated that the cost of protecting Cecil and his habitats would have been around $1 million over his lifetime. The one thing that does cover the cost of conservation is actually nature tourism, because the same scientists calculated that an animal like Cecil will generate something like $100,000 every year that they're alive, which can go towards conservation. So killing animals is not conservation. Keeping them alive, that's where it really works.
Neil, when you hear that argument, and part of this is emotion, part of it is practical, as Eduardo was talking about some of the statistics there. Do you not think, on the one hand, things have changed? We've moved on. The notion of trophy hunting now, it feels like something from the past. But on top of that, why not make the money from other means?
If it's possible, it definitely should be. And we actually have communities here that used to do trophy hunting in their areas and have turned to photographic well before the moratorium on hunting came in. So it's an option. Like I said before, the trophy hunting is only one of the tools in a toolbox. We are proud of the fact that in Botswana, our elephant population is expanding. It may be a little bit static at the minute, but it's actually increased tremendously over the last couple of decades. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in East Africa, for instance, or in West Africa, where they've got huge problems with poaching, I wouldn't be supporting trophy hunting. It's an area specific, and you need to recognize the situation on the ground at the time and to see what works there and what doesn't work.
Okay, Eduardo, if I could just come in there.
Trophy hunting.
Okay, just slightly short of time. Neil, can I just give you a last? Eduardo, could I give you a last thought on this one? Where are we? And so we were talking about the government here and the decision. Exactly where are we in that process?
Well, the consultation that the government has set up closes next Tuesday, so this is the chance for people in Britain to actually have their say. We may never get a chance like this again, and it's very simple. If you have an opinion on this, you can simply email DEFRA and tell them what you want. There are 4 options on the table, ranging from a total ban to no ban. 86% of people in Britain have already said in a survey that they want all trophy hunting universally abolished. It's very clear that it's time to act.
Okay, that's Eduardo Goncalves, who is from the campaign to ban trophy hunting. And thank you, and Neil as well. Neil Fitt is an advisor to the Kalahari Conservation Society, speaking to us from Botswana this morning. Thank you very much.
Just going to go back to our top story this